All right, we're doing something a little different today. Um, as I said last time, the pack openings have stopped, but this time I just wanted to show off all of the cards we opened over the past few weeks. So I've just organized them into piles based on rarity and color. So these are all the monocolored cards, and these are all the two-colored cards. One of the nice things is that in Strixhaven, all of the cards with two colors come in one of the 5 colleges. So we've got all our Witherbloom cards here. And as I mentioned when we opened them up, we have a ton of Witherbloom commons. The stack size is actually kind of huge. But then the rares and uncommons are pretty much all evened out. So what I'd like to do as well today is build a little deck. I'm a big fan of pressuring red-white decks, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take out all of our Lorehold cards, the red-white cards that we opened, and then pull out my red and white collection. And we'll try to identify some cards that synergize together. All right, let's start taking a look at the cards we have. I'm going to make a 60-card deck. Let's start by looking at the rares. I think probably all of them will go in, but maybe not. So our first rare that we opened in the past few weeks is Flame Squirrel Celebrant. Try to refocus. Yeah. So this is a nice card with an activated ability in red. Can be very aggressive very quickly. In turn 3, it can hit in for 4 damage. And then on the back, if we choose to use the backside, we're going to use Revel and Silence, which will exile it, so we can't, unfortunately, if we choose to use the instant side, we can't recur this card with other cards like this Venerable Warsinger we're going to see, but can be useful nonetheless. So we're going to use this one. It's a nice 2-drop with an activated ability. Here we have Venerable Warsinger. I love this card. I really tried to make it work in Standard, and maybe I'll come back to it after rotation, but in Tabletop, I think, or in sort of kitchen table Magic, I think it's going to be much better. Basically, whenever I can get this guy to connect, I can return a creature from my graveyard, where X is the amount of damage that this guy deals. So a very powerful card for a 3-drop. Going to try to use this. I included the rares for uncommons or for the colorless as well. This I don't think is worth running in a red-white deck. Elite Spellbinder, also one of my favorite cards in this set. It's just hand-hated in white. What's not to love? It's a tax effect, not a discard effect, but it's still very good. And it can be recurred with Warsinger, so I love that. Ephemerate is a maybe. This lets us exile a creature we control and then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. So I can bounce one of my own creatures into exile, and then the rebound effect lets me do it again. So it's really good with enter the battlefield effects, like Elite Spellbinder. So if I have enough enter the battlefield effects, Ephemerate is probably worth running. So this is going to go in a maybe pile for now. Academic Probation is really not going to be worth running in the main deck. So if I run some learn cards, this will definitely be in the sideboard, because it's one of the better learn cards, I think. You can get a blocker out of the way if you choose its second mode, or in its first mode you can shut down an opponent for a turn if you know the type of deck they're playing. So this is also a maybe. Yeah. And the uncommons for the multicolored cards, we've got Quintorius. Quintorius is really good if I can find ways to exile things from my graveyard. I don't think I want to try that strategy here. It's also very expensive. And I don't think I'm going to end up going Spirit Tribal. Maybe I will in the end, but I don't think this is worth it. Returned Past Caller lets me return a Spirit instant or sorcery from my graveyard to my hand. It's a very nice aggressive flyer, 4/2. This could make it in at the top end, so I'm going to put him down. Again, this is more for Spirit Tribal, but it's a 4/2 flyer. It's not terrible. This is a recursion card from my graveyard, so if I have other ways, like if I had Quintorius out and I played Reconstruct History, I would get 3/2 Spirit. So unless I find other payoffs for removing things from my graveyard or returning them from my graveyard, it's probably not worth running Reconstruct History. So we're going to pass on that as well. Let's look at the red uncommons. Start from scratch. For an uncommon sorcery lesson, I think even this is really bad. It's a sorcery speed. It's only 1 damage ping. I mean, for 3 mana, you should have at least 2 damage. So this is going to just be a straight up no. Infuriate, I think is something I'm going to be running. I want to play a low down aggressive strategy, so Infuriate works perfectly with that. Igneous Inspiration, it's a learn card, so if I want to run these lessons in the sideboard, could be very useful. That's going to be a maybe. This is exactly the kind of card that I'm looking for. Haste creature, 1 mana, aggressive. We want to run both of them. I have 2. This is another maybe. Mascot Interception is probably good in a limited format if I'm playing against another deck that's primarily Strixhaven, because there's a lot of tokens in this set. But for now, it's going to be a no. So this is what we have for the deck so far, 6 cards. 2 Hall Monitors. Let me organize them by CMC. So a few 1-drops, a 2-drop, and 2 3-drops. Let's go through the white uncommons. Reduce to Memory is a maybe, depending on whether or not we run learn cards. Detention Vortex takes care of a creature for basically a turn, and if they want that creature back, they have to pay 3 mana. So I kind of like this. You know, it's not going to work in the late game, but in the early game when I really want to be pressuring, it's very good. So I'll take Detention Vortex. Show of Confidence is going to be a maybe. If I get a lot of token generation, or this is really something like Storm, it would be better if it were each sorcery spell you copied it, but unfortunately it's only each other instant and sorcery spell, so I don't really get as much value because I want to be playing mostly creatures. So this is going in the no pile. Thunderous Orator, I think, is something I'm going to be running. Whenever he attacks, he copies basically an ability that one of my creatures have. So I have some flying with Spellbinder, Trample with Warsinger, and I'm sure that I can get some other abilities here. He comes with built-in Vigilance, so it's just good. So if I can get a Double Striker, that'd be good. A Lifelinker, that'd be good. But right now it's just flying and Trample that could be activated on him. Secret Rendezvous is just bad, so that's a no. Stonebinder's Familiar. Again, this would be better in Spirit Tribal. It is a 1-drop, but I think there are probably better 1-drops that I could be running. Divine Gambit would be better in a longer game, when I could wait until my opponent has empty-handed themselves. So this is going to be a no, and then I got another Secret Rendezvous here. So that's it for the white uncommons. Let's check out the colorless uncommons. Team Pennant. I don't know if I'll be seeing a lot of tokens in this deck, but if I do, this is pretty good because the equip cost is nice and cheap. It also gives me something to do early. So I'll take it. I'll put it in the maybe pile. Access Tunnel works really, really, really well with Venerable Warsinger. Getting this guy to be unblockable lets me recur something from the graveyard for free and connect for 3 damage. So this is going to definitely be run in this deck. Spell Satchel is a mana rock for 2 that I can only use if I'm casting instants and sorceries. Not a lot of instants and sorceries planned, so this is going to be a no. Zephyr Boots is again going to be a maybe. It's a good thing to do on turn 1. It's got a relatively cheap equip cost, and giving evasion, especially to something like Venerable Warsinger, can be really good. So that's in the maybe pile. Alright, let's look through the white commons. This is a good blocker, but not an aggressive body, so I'm going to elect to not play this one. Even though the power isn't great on this one, the fact that it's flying is kind of nice. So let's put this in the maybe pile. Study Break. This is another learn card. It can be very good for getting creatures out of the way, especially if I'm going to plan to be pressuring early. So let's put that also in the maybe pile. It also makes all our lesson cards better. So that's good. This is a protective spell. I'm going to include this one. It also buffs up damage. So you can trick someone on a block. It's instant speed, of course. So I like that. This is another Stonerise Spirit, so that's going in the maybes. Another Beaming Defiance. Study Break is a maybe. Eager First Year. If I get a lot more combat tricks, this is going to be much better. So let's put that here. This could be a good finisher if I get a wide enough board. Buffing my board at instant speed with +1/+1. Normally you expect +2/+1 for a 4 mana effect like this, but the modularity is really nice, especially if I'm playing against someone who's got a beefy blocker that my creatures just can't get around. The destroy effect could be really good. So I like the fact that this is flexible. Another Stonerise Spirit is a maybe. Defend the Campus. Star People, this is exactly the card I want to look for. It's a nice creature, good 1-drop that buffs the board when he dies. So I want to look to pressure early, and that's a great card for doing that. This is going to be a no. Guiding Voice is a maybe. It's a learn card. No. No. Maybe. Combat Professor I do want to run. Another Defend the Campus. I'm not sure if I want 2 or 3. I think I might want 3, but we'll see. It's one of the only ways to buff my whole board in this set. I did forget to look through the common dual cards. So Spirit Summoning is good. We're going to want to run the Campuses. I'm going to say no to the Thrilling Discoveries. Thrilling Discovery is a card that synergizes really well with some of the other aspects of Red-White in this set, where I want things to be leaving my graveyard. So it lets me bin things and get through my deck, but I don't see it being useful in the kind of deck I'm trying to build. So Spirit Summoning, like these. This is a nice aggressive body, especially with lots of combat tricks. So let's put that in. Lorehold Campus, another Spirit Summoning, and the Thrilling Discovery we're going to pass on. So far we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 definite main board cards. We'd like to get that number probably up to 38, because this is going to be a low CMC deck. So we want 22 lands or something like that. Let me also separate out the lessons from this pile. Reduce to memory. Academic Probation. Now we have the common colorless cards. Annihilation, probably not. Too expensive, too expensive. This is a good lesson to if we're going to learn. So we will probably end up running some of the learn cards, especially since this is some of the only removal and disruption that we have are the cards that let us learn. So we'll be using that one. Campus Guide isn't a bad body. I worry that, I mean, this is a maze, so I'm not forced to put a land on top, but in the late game, I don't really want to be finding more lands. It does maybe let me run fewer lands than I had planned to. So let's put this in the maybe pile. That's a lesson. That's another Campus Guide. This is for slower decks that need more mana. We want to play low down to the ground, so that's going to be a no. Lesson, lesson, Campus Guide. This is defensive. We want to be aggressive. It's a lesson. And finally, we've got the red commons. This is some pretty heavily overcosted removal. If you hit something with low power, it will deal some damage to the opponent, which is nice. So we'll put this in the maybe pile. First day of class, I don't think will really work in this deck. I mean, we are trying to be aggressive, so the haste can be useful, but you would need to play this and then 2 other creatures, and by the time that's going to happen, you're hopefully already on the board with most of your creatures. So we're going to pass on first day of class. Enthusiastic Study. It's a really nice pump. 3 extra damage, and tramples through. So we're going to definitely run this. Heated Debate. Worth running. It's removal. Pigment Storm. Actually, I don't think we want to run Pigment Storm. We want to deal our damage with creatures. Enthusiastic Study is also a maybe. This is an example of a type of card in that Spirit tribal setting that we will want to run. A 2/1 for 2 isn't terrible. It's playable, and then the fact that it can return itself later in the late game after you've used it as an attacker is really nice. So we're going to run this. It's a 2-drop. First day of class, we're not running. This is defensive. Let's run this just because we are running 1 Thunderous Orator. And we're going to pull out some other cards here soon as well. Campus, let's get another one. Oh, I forgot, I miscategorized that one. I want to run Historian. Heated Debate's a maybe. Tome Shredder. It is a good aggressive card, and I do think I'll probably be running quite a few pumps, so let's put that in there. I don't think there's enough spirits to justify running this. There's another Double Striker. And here's something that can ramp me up, which can be useful. So we'll put that in the maybe pile as well. So our maybe pile is huge. Let me grab some other cards in my collection that I think we might want to use. Alright, so what I've grabbed from my collection is a stack of common dual-colored cards, and you'll notice that these are also from Strixhaven. These are from the pre-release event I did with some friends, and I expect that if you're watching this, you're probably one of those friends. So let's just have a look for the red, see if we can identify any red-white cards here. Might be useful. We've already got lots of Spirit Summonings. Make Your Mark. This is the one I was hoping to have some. I actually am surprised that in 18 packs I opened 0 Make Your Marks. But this is a card that is really good in the type of deck I'm trying to do, because it can trick out an opponent. It allows me to take really aggressive trades, because when I trade with my opponent, if I play Make Your Mark, I get a 3/2 Spirit replacement. So we're definitely going to be running as many Make Your Marks as we can. Not in our colors. Not in our colors. Spirit Summoning. Not in our colors. Now the Pledge Mage isn't bad. It's something we might be running. There's a second Make Your Mark. That's what we're looking for. These are, I didn't separate or organize these by college, so these are all just all the 2-colored cards. That's one of the dual cards, or the Spirit Tribal cards. Here's third make your mark. Let's see if we can get up to 4. That's what I'd like to be able to do. I don't know if I want to run 3 pledge mages. It sort of depends on how much pump we have. It looks like that's it. So let me go grab some more red cards. Okay, so what I've grabbed here is the uncommons. Those are all the common dual colored cards. So let's just run through the uncommon ones. Maybe we find something good in red-white. I don't really like Apprentice. Doesn't quite do enough, especially because its triggered ability, its Magecraft ability, is just Spirit Tribal. So I don't run enough Spirits. This is a way, again, to leverage the graveyard interaction of red-white to get more spirits. This is part of the Spirit Tribal package. Not interested in that. Rip Apart. This is a card we definitely want to run. It's good, clean removal. It's very versatile, so that's definitely going in. And now we're getting into some cards from other sets. I want to make this just a Strixhaven deck, so that's going to be it for the multicolored cards. Well, it turns out that I'm a liar. That's not it for the multicolored cards. I also have some rares and mythics from when I played with you guys earlier. So let's take a look through these in the multicolored and see if we have any good red-white Strixhaven. Now, Feather is somebody I'd love to put in this deck, but again, I am trying to keep it only Strixhaven. We have a Lorehold command. This is good. This is good enough to at least to run in the deck in the limited environment I'm building. It can be a whopper. It can draw me through as necessary if I sack something. I think this just has enough value to be playable. So we're going to run the Lorehold command. And it looks like that's it. We got some other stuff. I got a lot of fun cards here. And I'd love to try to build lots of decks, but it is hard to get motivated when I don't really have anyone to play with here. Alright, in mono red we have another Flame Scroll Celebrant, so we'll be running that. Conspiracy Theorist is actually really good, I think, in this deck. It's a way to draw through, because we can pay 1 to discard and then draw when he attacks. And if I discard a card, I can pay 1, or I can exile it and play it later. So this actually synergizes with other cards that we've cut, like Thrilling Discovery, but we are just going to run them for the looting effect. Fervent Mastery, I don't think this is worth running. You put cards into your hand at random, or you choose cards and put them in your hand, so it's a tutor effect, but then you have to discard cards at random, and that's just too scary for me. Versus Rage. Good in a mono red control or something like this, but not for us. Flame Painter could be good, but I think it's just too expensive, and I don't run enough powerful effects. So if I was running red blue, this would be much better. And it looks like that's it for. Yep, that's going to be it for mono red rares. Let's take a look at their uncommons. Sorry, folks. Let's find. Here we go. More Igneous Inspiration. I think that's the 5th. Infuriate and Claim the Firstborn. Both going in, probably. It looks like that can't be it for mono red uncommons in Strixhaven. I guess it is. Okay, then lastly we're going to look for the section of my collection that's mono red. Commons and from Strixhaven, I don't think they're going to be worth running. I'm just going to do it very quickly. Here we go. I might think about running another Shaman. The Shaman is really good with things like Make Your Mark or Infuriate that can buff its attack power. I have 1, 2, 3 Shamans already, so that's a 4th. I don't think I'll run 4, but I'll put it there anyway. Let's put the Tome Shredder in the maybe pile. I think I had 1 earlier. Tome Shredder. Could turn this into a combat trick deck, I don't know. I don't think it's worth running 2 Illustrious, that many Illustrious. I'll put it in here. We can cut it later if we need to. That's it for the mono red commons, it looks like. Yep. Alright, now we're in the mono white rares. Elite Spellbinder. We have a second one, so we're definitely going to be running that. This is not from Strix. Any more Strix? Doesn't look like that's the only mono white rare we opened at the pre-release. Which is fine. It's totally fine. Would have liked to have opened more. For mono white uncommons, what do we have? Not Divine Gambit. We want to look for Strixhaven cards, not 19 or earlier. I think there's got to be at least a couple Strixhaven uncommons. Yeah, here we go. Another Detention Vortex, we probably want to run that. That's just bad. Decided not to do that. Familiar, no. This one will be very good with the number of combat tricks we're running. These are not Strixhaven cards. Looks like that might be it for the Strixhaven uncommons. Yep, I think the rest of these are not Strix. And the last things we have to go through are the mono white commons. Expel, not really worth it. Guiding Voice, I think we probably will end up writing at least a couple Guiding Voices because we want some instants and sorceries, and that we were running a bunch of double strikers, so it can be good. Another Star Pupil, very good aggressive creature. We're looking for that. Let's find more stuff here. Combat Professor we like. I don't want to run 4 Defend the Campus. Beaming Defiance we like. Study Break we like. I think that might be it for Strix from this collection of cards. Mana Tithe, good card. Foil too. I should see if that's worth anything. It's a common, so I kind of doubt it, but maybe the fact that it's foil. People like to run Mana Tithe. Print more counter spells in white. Oh yeah. So that's it for the white commons. So now all that's left to do is to make some cuts and maybe add some maybe cards and add the basics. So let's look at our 1-drops. We want our deck to have plenty of 1-drops between creatures and removal. So here's creatures, here's removal. This is sort of like a removal effect. Maybe, I don't know if I want to run Claim the Firstborn. Here's our pumps. Creature, removal. Here's another pump. And 2 creatures. So I would have liked to have had more 1-drop creatures. But, so it goes. Let me also look through the maybe pile. I want to run... I still don't think Ephemerate is worth it because the only card that synergizes with this is Lead Spellbinder, so we're going to pass on that. Igneous Inspiration is good, but there's a 1-drop in here. Yeah, the Guiding Voice. We're going to run these. And I guess we will run the Tome Shredders after all, because we're going to try to run quite a few combat tricks. Guiding Voice, okay, that's 4. I don't think we want 4, though. Let's cut it down to 3. Oh, wait, we have 3 Make Your Marks, 3 Guiding Voices, and 2 Infuriates. So that's our 1-drops, and then we've got the Detention Vortex as well. So our deck has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 1-drops. Pretty good. Alright, let's do the 2-drops. Beaming Defiance, nice protective spell. I don't think Illustrious Historian is worth it. Conspiracy Theorist we're definitely going to be running. Rip Apart we're definitely going to be running. Eager First Year, probably worth it, given the number of pumps we're going to be running, so let's run that. That's 3 protective spells. And I think we have enough creatures with abilities that the Thunderous Orator will be worth it. None of our 1-drops really have abilities, but our higher-up creatures will. And this isn't going to attack until we drop something else. Just the number of double strike creatures we're going to be running is going to make the Thunderous Orator worth it. So let's put these in the pile. Tome Shredder, I'm still on the fence about. Let's put that in the maybe pile. We're definitely running Spellbinder. That's good disruption. We want to run probably at least 3 of these Twin Scroll Shamans. This I like with the Orator, but I'm only running 1 Orator, so I'm not sure it's worth it. It can get big if I have a lot of pump in my hand, so I can have an explosive turn. But I think I'm going to pass on the mages. Let's run 3 of these. I don't want to run too many 3-drops, and I definitely want to run the Warsinger because most of my deck is 3 CMC or less, so whenever he connects, he's going to be getting something back that I blocked with earlier. I think I just want to run all of these. Combat Professor's good. This can blow people out. The +1/+1 pump. So let's try that. And our only 5-drop will be Lorehold Command. Let's see how many cards this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. So we want to add 2 more cards, I think. And I think the cards I want to add are the burn spells that learn. Because I have a lot of other ones. Or maybe I want Enthusiastic Study. That's kind of expensive for the effect. I'd really like something lower down on the mana curve. So let's keep looking through our maybe pile. Study Break could be good to get attackers through. It also learns, which could be useful. Don't think Sunrise Spirit is worth it. I don't have enough creature tokens for Team Pennant to be worth it. And I don't think Zephyr Boots will be worth it either. I think I do just want the Igneous Inspirations. That's going to bring us up to 38. So let me organize these cards and give you one last overview, and we'll take a look at some sample hands and see how the deck would play out. Okay, so here we have a closer view of all of the 1 and 2-drops. We've got 5 1-drop creatures, 2 1-drop removals, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 1-drop pumps. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2-drop creatures, 3 2-drop pumps, and a removal into 2 mana. So I'm thinking already that I don't have enough creatures and I have too many pumps, but we'll never know until we play it out. So I would like to change this deck eventually. And here our cards at 3 CMC are up. Here we have much more creatures. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 3-drop creatures. In particular, this Twin Scroll Shaman, because it has double strike, will benefit from our pumps a lot more. 2 Elite Spellbinders and a Venerable Warsinger. We've got 2 Igneous Inspirations, which can fetch lessons from the sideboard. And then we've got 3 Defend the Campuses, which can buff our boards or get rid of a beefy blocker. 2 Combat Professors, which can give Vigilance and +1/+0 to attackers. So this is going to be really good again with the Twin Scroll Shaman. And then our only 5-drop is 1 copy of Lorehold Command, just for the memes, because as we all know, 1-ofs are fun-ofs. So I quite like the potential for this card, although I think in most cases it's not going to be super useful. I did forget to say what lessons I would bring, so here it is. 7-card sideboards is usually what you are allowed for lessons, so we've got just a variety of things. I include 2 copies of Spirit Summoning because we want to be aggressive, but we have removal as necessary. We've got Academic Probation, which can deal with the blocker. It's nice that it's low CMC as well. And then just 3 utility cards. For Drought, having a mana drought, we can use Environmental Sciences to fetch a land. We can make a creature bigger, which I think will be useful. This would especially work well with Twin Scroll Shaman. And then Introduction to Prophecy is just a better opt for more mana. Alright, I've sleeved up the deck. I've added basic lands, so we should see those interspersed, mountains and plains and whatnot. Let's see what a couple sample hands might look like. So this is a 1-lander, kind of unlucky. If even just one of these other cards was a plains, it'd be okay. It's also a bit heavy on the mana cost. We only drew 1 of our many 1-drops. I would hope that in some of our other sample hands we see something a little better. Let's try it again. A little better distribution. And a couple more lands. At least 1 more. We're only running 22, so there is a chance that we're going to get 1-landers. Let's have another look. We've got 2 lands. That's good. 3 lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we're still really high up on the mana curve. Maybe it would need to be adjusted. But we drew our only 2 copies of Combat Professor, so maybe we're just getting unlucky. Let's try 1 more time. Okay, I gave it a good proper shuffle once again. Let's draw a couple more 7-card hands. Now this is more like it. We've got a couple 2-drops to choose from on turn 2. No 1-drops, which is unfortunate. Maybe we draw a 1-drop. Nope, but we do draw a 3rd mana to be able to play our 3-drops on turn 3. So this could go much better than some of the hands we've seen previously. No pumps though. We haven't seen a single Infuriate. I think we drew in a previous hand 1 of the Make Your Marks, but I was worried we were running too many pumps, but now I'm worried we're not running enough. It's always tricky. I guess I should just do a probability calculation rather than going off this very limited sample size. Beaming Defiance, Mountain, Elite Spellbinder, Mountain, Star Pupil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hall Monitor. Rip apart. Now this would be an excellent hand if I had a Plains. I do have 2 mountains to start with, so I can play my Hall Monitor on turn 1 and start getting in. But unless I were to draw a Plains, oh, well, in this case we were lucky. On turn 2 I would have drawn a Plains and can follow up with a Star Pupil or Beaming Defiance, or a Rip Apart if I need to get something out of the way. And then I can immediately go into Elite Spellbinder, Eager First Year, and start trying to get the game plan going. So I hope you enjoyed the deck construction of this deck, this Strixhaven only deck. Do let me know if you'd like me to do it again. I kind of did it just to have something to talk to. I don't expect really anybody to watch this, but I plan to do it again, and I just might not post it. So if you did watch it, let me know somehow, and I'll keep posting them. Bye-bye.